Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come spend a little time with me today. Got a lot to do on the list, but unfortunately y'all probably just gonna have to put up with me today. I want to make some pickled eggs. My chickens have really picked up laying, and I make all kinds of pickled eggs, and today I'm just gonna show you a super simple pickled egg recipe that we really enjoy. It's really good. And I'm gonna do that. And I'm going to be making some butter today. I've got about 4 or 5 gallons of milk waiting on me in the refrigerator since I started milking Candy. And yeah, I'm going to show you a very simple way to make butter. And we'll see what else we get into for the day. Good morning, good morning. Come on. Come on, I'm going to take y'all's food. Very good. Good morning. Is everybody still alive in here? It's gonna be a nice day today. All right, I've checked on everything I usually check on in the mornings. We're gonna go do our school for the day, and I'll get back with you when we get done. Before I go in the house though, I think I want to cook something in the crock pot. So let's do, I want a neck roast. I have yet to organize this particular freezer. I need to do that. I need to put that on my priority list. Yep, next. If you process your own pigs, we try to use as much of the animal as possible because they did, sacrifice their life to feed us. So something, a lot of people cut this up for sausage. This piece of the neck, at the very end of the neck, at the backbone. But we like to keep it. Makes really good, easy roast to throw in the crock pot. So I got to get this thing thawed out and in the crock pot. It can be thawing while we're doing school. Alright, we're done with our book work anyway for today. So let me get my milking bucket out the way. And the first thing we're going to do is get us some water boiling for our eggs. I get lots and lots and lots of questions about my pot here. This right here, I've had it, me and Andy have been married since 2013. So I've had this pot since about 2012. It's a Biltmore belly stock pot, I believe that's what it's called. They're made by Belks, and this was a wedding gift from Mama to me back then. They're not made exactly like this anymore, but they do still make them. If you want to check out the Belks website, they have all different sizes. This one is a 12 quart. But anyways, I've got about half full of water. We're going to get that boiling before we put our eggs in there. I'm going to go ahead and get my neck roast in the crock pot. Now, as you can see here, there is a lot of good meat on this roast here, and that's why it makes such a good roast. But neck has a lot of connective tissue and really makes a good crock pot roast. So I'm going to stick that on low, and we're going to throw some seasoning on it. So, of course, some salt and pepper. Plenty of salt. This is going to make us a real nice broth, too. So we'll probably put like a cup of water in the bottom. We're going to throw us some cloves of garlic in there. And a few fresh sprigs of rosemary. And we'll let this cook till around supper time. So it'll be around 6 or 7 hours, something like that. And it should be good and ready to eat by then. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get our cream scraped off. So what I've got here is about 3 gallons that I'm going to be taking the cream off of. Now every time I make a butter video, people always say, there's got to be a quicker way to do the way that I do this here. And there probably is. But I don't mind standing here scraping cream one bit, and I'm not going to invest in a cream separator because, well, as you can see there, the cow separates it for me, and for what little bit of milk I work with, I don't see that it's worth it, in my personal opinion. Simple is best, sometimes. So, like I said, it's really prominent in these older jars, but you can see that nice cream line there. Candy usually makes quite a bit of cream, especially further into the lactation she gets. Of course, where I am calf sharing, she will hold back some of that cream for her calf, which doesn't bother me at all. That's fine. So, just slowly start scraping. You can see how thick that is. And what I'm showing you today, even if you don't have fresh milk, you can make your own butter with heavy cream from the store. If you want to try making your own. Butter is so simple. It's very simple. It sounds intimidating, but it is so simple to make. I do use my food processor, so I like to make sure that I've got enough cream to fool with dirtying up my food processor before I make butter. And usually, once I really get in the swing of everything, I usually, while I'm milking the cow, I make butter about every 3 or 4 days. And I do that so I can freeze it, and I did that last year, and I had enough butter to last me till about, I think I may have run out sometime in December. Maybe, yeah, it was about December. So, I had quit milking the cow probably in June, and I had run out about December. So I didn't have to start buying butter until then. So I felt like that was pretty good. And now you'll notice, you know, if you watch my channel and then watch some other people's channel, you're going to say, well, why don't you have just bukus and bukus of milk? Well, the reason being, Candy is not like a huge producer. I guess she could be if I threw the food to her, but she's holding her weight fine with what I'm feeding her, which is what I want. I get about 1 gallon a day sharing with that calf. That's 7 gallons a week of milk, and that's plenty for all the things that I want to do with it. I was not, when I was in the market for a milk cow, I was not looking for some kind of big producer. There's some jerseys you'll find that'll give you 4 to 6 gallons a day. And well, I just don't know what I'd do with 4 or 6 gallons of milk a day. Because I ain't aiming to get rid of it, so. I knew I wanted a low producer. And plus, with that much milk, you know, of course, that's that much more on my plate that I've got to find room to put it. I've got to make more time aside to process it in whatever way I want to process it. And well, a low producer was just right for our family anyway. Don't feel like you know, you're looking for a cow and somebody says, well, this one only gives 1 gallon a day or something like that, that's a bad thing. Unless your goal is to have more than that. I mean, I don't have a huge family, so. Alright, I'm going to sit this over to the side. I usually like to let my cream sit out about 30-ish minutes to an hour or something like that before I make butter. It just seems to break a little bit faster in the food processor. Alright, now my water is all but boiling. I've got about 2 dozen eggs here, and I'm going to get them in the pot. I'm going to boil these eggs about probably 12 minutes. Nothing turns your stomach more when you go to try your pickled egg and the egg ain't done in the middle. Some people might like them that way, but I like my eggs to be hard boiled when I'm making pickled eggs. I used to do the steaming method to help them peel a little easier, because there's like a million ways, y'all, to make your eggs peel easier. Today we're just gonna boil them. And I make all kinds of flavors of pickled eggs, and like I told you at the beginning of the video, these are just going to be a pretty simple, generic recipe, I guess you'd call it. But I do make all kinds, but this is the kind Andy wanted for right now. So I gave him a choice, and he wanted these. Once they come up to a good rolling boil, then we'll start our time.
Okay, don't you watch out of the way.
It got 36 seconds.
36 seconds.
Pour this hot water out. Now watch out.
Holy cow.
May have to let them cool a little bit, maybe.
Mom, look out this tiny one.
Where's the
Alright,
Maggie?
so you
Show
put
me,
them in this jar,
show me
okay?
the pretty one. Is it this one?
No, it's not pretty, but where is it?
Yeah, y'all put them in that big jar for me, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
And put your shells in this bucket.
Okay, I think they got cooled down enough.
Okay, bye-bye.
While y'all are doing that, I'm gonna make the stuff before. Watch out, baby. Let me get in here just a second. Alright, for our brine mixture to go in our pickled eggs, we're going to start off with about 4 cups of white vinegar. And we're making about a half a gallon of pickled eggs. So for a quart, you would cut this, what I'm going to tell you, in half.
Yeah, this one's gonna be a little bit messed up.
I'm going to add around 4 tablespoons of just pickling spice. That really gives your eggs a really good flavor. I'm going to add a clove of garlic. You can cut this up if you want to. I don't see no use in cutting it up, so I don't. We'll throw that in our mixture. Now we're going to need 2 cups of sugar.
I think it's really fun making butter.
Think so? And we're going to need about 4 tablespoons of salt. Now, I'm no expert at making pickled eggs. This is just the way we like them anyway. Some onion powder. If I had some fresh onions, I would chop up maybe a half of a small fresh onion. But I don't have any right now just yet, so. We're going to let that simmer for a few minutes until our eggs get peeled. Alright, my egg peelers did a fabulous job getting these eggs peeled. And I like to pour it over it until all my eggs are covered. May need just a little more. There we go. So I've got a little bit of brine left. I could do a couple of things with that. If I had cucumbers, I could make pickles with this mixture, like maybe some refrigerator pickles, but I don't have any fresh cucumbers right now. Or I could just boil a few more eggs. I maybe have enough to do another quart, maybe. And I could do that if I wanted to. Or throw it down the hill. Whatever you want to do. Or you can put it in the refrigerator and save it for later, because it's mostly vinegar. And it'll keep just fine. So these eggs, I don't can my pickled eggs. I'll sit these in the refrigerator, and we'll try them after 2 weeks. Is the earliest I would try them, but the longer they sit, the better they get, truly. You gotta think, that egg is pretty thick, and It takes a little while. I know you can stab them with toothpicks and stuff. I just don't usually do that for, I don't know, I don't have a reason. But, so I would at least give them a couple of weeks if you do them this way before you give them a try. All right, now.
Where are you, man? Oh, it smells good.
It does smell good. But it's strong if you put your nose right over. All right, I need to let these cool. But there is the finished product, and they look really good. They are really good. I've made this particular recipe for many years. It's got the U2 in it.
Yeah.
It's strong. Now we're going to go ahead and get our butter made. It's been sitting close to an hour, the cream. That's fine. So we're going to break out the food processor. So I've got about 6 cups of cream here. We're going to pour in 3 cups at a time. I usually do half and half because if I try to pour all this, even though this is a 9-cup food processor, it will start bubbling out the top. Ask me how I know. We've done that before, ain't we? Yeah. So we're going to do about 3 cups in here.
And 3.
Yeah, tell me when it gets to the 3.
Whoa, whoa!
All right. So we're going to put our lid on.
I want to put it on.
Oh, hang on. I got to turn it the wrong way.
Okay.
Now.
And then you press that, so unpress.
Yep.
Okay, click.
What I do on my food processor is I use the puree button function, whatever you want to call it, on it. And it may take 2 or 3 times of it running that cycle for it to break and turn into butter. That's perfectly normal. Sometimes I've had to do it more times than that, but usually 2 or 3 times I'll get it. And it's pretty much that simple. I'll show you what it looks like when we get done with that part. And let's check it so you can see it's risen here now. So more than likely, I'm going to bet we've got whipped cream in there.
Yeah.
So let's look. Yep. So that right there, we've hit the whipped cream stage just on that first round. So let's hit it again. So hit it again.
No,
I can tell by looking at it right there.
Okay. Well, let me just look and let's make sure. Well, yeah, it's still kind of whipped cream, but I bet next part's gonna be butter.
Probably.
Like
That's
that?
right. There you go. Now put that on there.
Let's press
Yep.
it again.
There it goes. Butter we have. See how it's flashing? All right. So I believe we've got butter. Let's look it up and see. So you can see the butter in the buttermilk there. So I just want to show y'all here. I've got a bowl of ice cold water sitting here. And I did have some ice in it. Most of that ice is melted now. So I'm going to just start fishing out my butter and putting it in my cold water. Because we've got to get that butter out of that buttermilk. The more milk you can get out of this butter, the longer it's going to keep. So I like to just scoop it out. And now you can tell this butter is not really, really yellow. And the reason being is my cows are mostly on a hay diet right now, and there's no green grass that they're eating just because of the time of the year it is. And that affects what your butter looks like. So I've got that squeezed pretty good, and we're going to fish out some more. And I'm just squeezing as much milk out as I can before I put it in my ice water. Now we're gonna work this right now and squeeze out what we can. I'm gonna go back in my water. I found that me making just a bowl of ice water works a little better than using just my tap water. I don't know if my tap water just don't get as cold as it should or what, but the butter gets extremely melty if I just go from squeezing it out of here to straight to the tap water. So that's why I do the bowl of ice water first. Kind of hardens it up a little bit. Now I'm gonna come to the sink. And I'm just gonna kind of mash it. Like I said, the goal is to get out as much milk as you can. And I'm going to squeeze it. Give it a sprinkle of salt. You don't have to put salt in it if you don't want to. And I like to. I've also found that the salt seems to help squeeze out more of that buttermilk. I guess where it draws out that moisture. Now I've got a pan, just one of my little cookie pans, cookie sheets. I'm gonna take it. We're gonna do that a couple times. We're gonna just shape it. I used to use a butter mold, and I realized it was just something else to wash. So I just try to make it a flattish rectangle shape so it'll set in my freezer good. That's all I'm after. So that made us a pretty good little cake of butter, and we've got one more to go. And what we've got left here is our buttermilk for cooking. It's not cultured buttermilk, just like this is not cultured butter. But I have let it sit out overnight, and it does get a little thicker and has a little more flavor. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. So I'll pour that in a jar and we'll hang on to it. Good job. And if it don't all fit, then we don't need that much. It's gonna be perfect. There we go. Alright. Here's our 2 nice cakes of butter. I'll be honest with y'all, usually Maggie is my butter maker. When we really get into the thick of things, she enjoys making the butter, so usually I let her make it for me. So she knows more about it somewhat than I do these days. But I'll stick this in the fridge, and I'll let it sit in there until probably tomorrow. I'll wrap it in wax paper and stick it in a freezer bag in the freezer to have, you know, whenever I need it. I always put the date on them, so I know to use the oldest ones first when I start getting into my freezer stock. But I do like to let it cool first, because that way it's not so greasy and doesn't get so stuck to that wax paper. It hardens it up quite a bit. So now comes the fun part. I have to clean all this up.
Different now since she has her home girl.
Sweet girl.
She's so sweet that she walks in here all by herself. Right?
Yes, she does. She does a good job.
Yep, she's finally like her. I don't have that halter on my face anymore. Right?
Come on.
Right, Mom? Girl, you got pee there. Now she's really good cow, but better than Belle. Really good than Belle. Right?
Yep. Good job. You're my right hand woman.
I always scratch candy on her head. She likes that when I scratch her on her head like this. Look. I scratch her on her head like this. Look, Mom. Mom.
She likes that.
No, I'll just scratch behind her sometimes and scratch on her ear. Yeah, she's like, put her ear back right and like, when I like don't scratch on her, she puts it back. That's right. That's so good. She just does so good. Like sometimes she's been waiting till without any food for a few minutes.
Has she?
Yeah. How'd you get your nose wet, Kim? Like right here.
I like to rework the way I'm sitting here. Hurting my legs.
How fast do you think we're going to get today?
Going about like usual.
Mom? Mom, look. Look, Mom. What's this thing hanging down right here?
The brisket
What's that?
is a part of the cow.
That was
Some
a...
cows have bigger ones than others.
Mom, this one being so good. You also get a pat on your neck when you put your head back down. You also got a pat on her neck, Mama. Yeah, that her one is so much better. Right, Mom?
Yeah, it does. Oh, a lot better. Forgot to buy that one today. But I didn't have none of that for not surprised. Come on, girlfriend. I ain't unhooked you yet. Yeah, girl. Yeah.
I need that other brush. It'll help it better.
Where's it at?
And over.
I'm gonna fill it up, baby boo.
You know what, Mom?
What?
This one like helps get like the blood off of her and all that.
Does it?
She ain't shouldn't have that.
No, not too bad.
Oh, hey, little fella. Oh.
You can come over here on this side of the fence. Oh,
And this Black Star. Why is she doing that?
I don't know. Let me see if I can let me see that. Hey, watch your back feet, okay?
I am.
Good job, everyone.
Did she just choke on her sheets?
She's smelling them and blow them off with her hair. Here, girl. Here, Candy Boo. Candy. Candy. Here. Come on now. Good girl. It was a good job, girl. needs an egg basket.
What we got?
We got a neck roast, mac and cheese, stewed potatoes, and cornbread.
That looks pretty good. After a hard day's work.
Jacob peeled the potatoes. He really wanted these, my stewed potatoes. And so he peeled the potatoes for me. He said, Mama.
Did he?
Yeah, he said, I'll peel the potatoes if you fix them. I said, all right, I'll take you up on that. It looks good, don't it? Maggie, did you say you're going to eat some of these potatoes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want these tiny pieces. I want
Okay.
the square piece.
Yours is over there waiting on you. I just got to fix you something to drink.
I sounded that gross. It looked good.
We got it out and put it on the plate so we can see what we're doing. It just falls. Look at that. It just falls off the bone. I mean, that looks like barbecue.
It's got a little different taste than barbecue, though. A little different texture.
Yeah. You would think it'd be a lot like tenderloin because it's technically part of the tenderloin, but it's
Different than that, too.
It's different than that, too.
This is going to freak some people out, probably, but the neck roast puts me in the mind of the head meat. The texture is
right.
a lot the same as what you find when you boil the head.
Well,
So,
it's pretty close to the head.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
yeah, well, now you got to think about all that muscles in that neck, too.
That neck does a whole lot of work
Yeah.
on that pig.
Yep.
So that muscle right there, I mean, that meat right there gets worked.
Constantly.
Yeah, constantly.
But it looks pretty good. But anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Hope you might have learned a little something. And until we see y'all on the next one,
Y'all have a good one.
have a good one.
Have a good one. I'll stay
Meat is muscle?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep, that's all meat is.
Hey,
That's all
Jacob,
steaks
you know
are.
the
That's-
hanky thing that's right here on the couch?